Just listen what's called the is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean. He says half the world is my love. It's a mess, but nobody think it's a joke. Whether it be mother, sister, or daughter, whatever, he doesn't talk about fake love. The outlaw, no age can judge him. Truth is always born in the just listen what's called the is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean. Just listen what's called the years, the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean.
Happy Friday. I hope the day was restful and productive for y'all. It was for me. I got some good news. Not related to getting a job necessarily, but related to a thing that I'm working on. I don't know how much I can say just yet. So I'm going to keep it a little close for now. But it was something that I think the most I can say it is something that Unity and I were working pretty hard on trying to get sorted out. And that has been it was the booster I needed. In various ways this last week has been a lot. There are ways in which it's been a lot. I am grateful that while there are certain things that are still going to be something of a challenge, things are better. So we're here. We're gonna vibe. I'm in a much better mood than I was last Friday, so I think I can actually do like ranked play today and not risk having like assault overload and throwing myself off. Also, thank you CJ for the 35 months resubbed. Deeply appreciate it. Exclamation point hype in the chat would not go amiss. So yeah, we're gonna play some Street Fighter 6. We're gonna play some Strive. I am going to try. I know that everybody is fine with whenever I say I'm really fixated on like these two games and I want to go back to playing other fighting games, but then my brain does not let go. Suffice it to say that without getting too deep into it, given news about another fighting game that I was weighing about putting on here, but that I'm not, if you're in the Discord, you already know. It put me in mind of going like, I really should try to branch out from into other fighting games in particular. But I'm just like, I gotta find something that I yeah, I gotta find something that because like I think realistically, right? Thinking about it off the dome, I feel like in an ideal world, right? This would be a thing where like I'm playing um, oh, did I forget to plug this in? Shit. Hold on, y'all. I got a couple of things to do now because I botched and I forgot the actual important part. You know, where you actually plug in the controller um, that you intend to use. Wavebirds. Hold on a second, y'all. I gotta remember which one of these skins is the correct one. There we go. Move this over here. And then I know the game's not on screen. I'm gonna put it up in a minute. So Yasmin's release is slowly coming in along the way. I have a bunch of rental passes, so I'll probably rent her first and then think about whether or not I want to pull the whole season pass or not. Oh yeah, other news. Apparently, we are confirmed for a second guest character in Guilty Gear Strive, with I think the current season pass that we're having. So it's Jam. It's Jam, RoboKai, 2 people, and 2 other characters, one of whom is a guest. So we will see how that goes. What does guest mean in this context? Perfect example. Guest character, Terry Bogard. Guest character, Mai. Next guest character that we're going to be getting in Street Fighter 6 is Tifa Lockhart. So when I say guest character, that's what I mean. Usually you can substitute it with third party, and that's about accurate. But very specifically, it's like someone who, essentially like a crossover character. Yeah, like Tifa was already announced as part of the current set of Season Pass DLC for Street Fighter 6. I believe the current release order is going to be Yasmin, Arjun, Tifa, and then Bosch is last. I believe is the order that we got. So that does work. Okay, quick. If Aerith also comes one day, Strive might be my go-to fighting game over Tekken. Yeah, I mean, the main thing to keep in mind is that, like, Tifa... So yeah, like I said, Tifa's for Street Fighter 6. So there's no guarantee necessarily that any other company is planning on it explicitly being Tifa. Like, we don't know who it is for Strive. All that was said, I think it was like an Anime Expo or something recently. Some expo that happened recently, the only thing that was said on Arxis's part was, yeah, it's a guest. We're gonna have a guest character during this year's season pass DLC for Strive. We just don't know who it is. So yeah, maybe Aerith will show up at some point, maybe, but it's one of those things where I do that mostly because, like, with Tifa in particular, her whole thing is that as somebody who does a lot of hand-to-hand fighting, it kind of makes a lot of sense for her to do it. I wouldn't say it's like a hard impossibility, but yeah. Like, Tifa's going to be in this game, specifically. And for Stride, we don't know who it is. Yeah, Bear got moved the overhead. Work is made practicing. So, the trick about practicing, if you're really looking to like kind of try to get the best out of it, it is never. It's not so much about length as it is about frequency, right? So, even if you're only able to like squeeze in a couple of minutes every day, if you pick a specific thing that you want to work on, if you have a specific thing that you know you want to work on, and you give yourself maybe like 5 to 10 minutes every day, that's a good way of like starting. Oops. Nah. I'm jumping at nothing. There we go. Oops. So yeah, if it's a matter of being busy, it's like you mostly just kind of make. It's not so much you have to like spend like an hour every day doing a thing, but it's like, all right, I got like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, trying to nail down weird curve controls to do her move. Yeah, if I knew which one you meant, I would give you specific advice, because it sounds like quarter circles. And I can do at least a little bit of talking about like at least a methodology for doing those that might help you feel a little bit less shaky on it. Perfect. Perfect time. Alright, so let's talk about it a little bit. Because it sounds like it's quarter circles and half circles that are giving you trouble. And yeah, I'm playing on like an arcade stick, but we can still kind of talk about it for a minute. So here's the trick about motion inputs, right? Because a lot of people make a lot of hay about like motion inputs and, you know, fighting games that need motion inputs, they're archaic, they're this, they're that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But like the main thing is that it's mostly about, and on a controller obviously it's different than an arcade stick, different than like a hitbox, but it doesn't explicitly matter which one of those you're using as long as you're using something that feels right for your hands. And so with quarter circles, right, the trick is that it's just a roll, right? However it is that you think about it, it's about the stick rolling around, right? So as an example, at some point, maybe when I switch over to Strive, I'll pick up Eno and I'll do the inputs so you can see it. But, for example, with a quarter circle forward, right? Down, down, forward, forward is a quarter circle, right? On a controller, if you're using like the analog stick, it can be a little bit harder to sort of feel it out. But the trick is that you want to turn on the motion, like, and I'm pretty sure Strive also has one, and I'll show you how to read the input reader. But like Strive's input reader in training mode especially kind of looks like the one that you see over here on the side, right? Your most recent inputs are at the top, and then the number off the left of it tells you how long that input was or has been held, right? In frames. So if you're doing a quarter circle forward, it's down, down, forward, forward. And then at the same time that you hit forward, you usually do whatever thing you're doing, right? Now, if you do it too slowly, nothing comes out, right? But the trick is that as you are trying to master the input, you want to start off by do it slowly. Because the important thing that you're trying to learn when you're trying to do quarter circle inputs is that you're shooting for accuracy first. You do have a little bit of a buffer where if you do it quickly enough and then you press whatever button executes the attack, it will come out. If you do it too slowly, it won't. However, the thing that a lot of people make a mistake about when they're first learning how to do motion inputs is that they get obsessed with doing it fast, immediately, right? The trick is accuracy. You have to give your brain the space to pick up the muscle memory for what it is you're trying to do, right? So, when you're just starting out, right? Down, down, forward, forward. Down, down, forward, forward. Down, down, forward, forward. Just take your time. Just try to get it so you get the 3 inputs. It's okay if you like mess up a little bit and you hold one for too long, or you maybe overshoot a little bit or something and you wiggle and go backward. It's okay, right? But the trick is that you want to get the feeling of it down. And then as you get the feeling down, you gradually speed up. And even when you're doing like the down, down, forward, forward part, or whatever the input is that they're telling you to do, when you do it, you always try to hit the executing button at the end, right? Even if the move doesn't come out, the point is that you want to understand what the muscle memory feels like. And then as you gradually go faster, right? As you gradually go faster with trying to get it to hand off, eventually it will come out. And when it comes out, you know, okay, that's roughly the speed I need to do the move at in order to get it to come out. Accuracy is going to be the most important thing. And for example, you're like, I'm really busy. It's hard for me to like do this long. Fair. Maybe in like a 5 to 10 or 15-minute session, you go, okay, I want to get this specific input correct 3 times in a row without dropping it. See if I can do that within like 15 minutes, right? Warm up a little bit if you have to. Work your way to it, and then just say, by the end of the 15 minutes, I want to be able to have done it 3 times. Cool. Once you get to the point where you can do it like that consistently, then you switch from player 1 side to player 2 side, do it on player 2 side. So the thing about, for example, and this is something important that I'm bringing up here. When I say quarter circle forward or quarter circle back, forward and back are relative to where you are on screen, and forward is always indicated as toward your opponent. So, using what we call numpad notation, right? If you remember number pad, okay, that seems doable. Yeah, like the trick, and the thing is that you want to do a little bit of that every day, because it's not like, okay, I got to spend like 5 hours every day grinding out how to do motion inputs. Some people can learn that way, but when you're just trying to build the muscle memory, the most important thing is repetition and giving your hands and your brain time to just let the muscle memory percolate, right? If you're too impatient with that and you don't let your brain take the muscle memory and let it cook, it doesn't stick. And once you're able to do like 3 on player 1 side and player 2 side without having to think about it, up at the 5 both sides, then up at the 7 both sides, or whatever number you feel like. The point is mostly that, like, as you get better at the shorter intervals, you push yourself a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more, right? And you eventually get there. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say to remember about how to practice this. Because with motion inputs, here I'm going to switch to using what's called numpad notation. FGC Glossary has a bit about this, so it has a template that's helpful here. But for numpad notation, basically think of like the number pad on a keyboard. 1, 2, and 3 are the It's the bottom buttons, 4, 5, 6 are the middle ones, 7, 8, 9 are the top. And when you look at a numpad on a keyboard, 2, 4, 6, and 8, 2 is down, 4 is back, 6 is forward, 8 is up, right? So Ingrid's Sunshot here is a 2, 3, 6, a quarter circle forward in English, if we're talking English. Numpad notation is a 2, 3, 6. On player 1's side, right, it's 2, 3, 6. Now, when you switch sides, when you are talking about the move, you are still referring to it as if you were on player 1's side as a 2, 3, 6, but the input is reversed now. Because the idea is, if you're doing a quarter circle forward, forward is always dictated as the motion toward, as the move, as direction, the horizontal direction toward your opponent. Back is always dictated as the one away. So, the reason why I bring this up is because when you practice doing 2, 3, 6 inputs on player 1's side, and as you get used to those, when you then switch over and then do the same thing on the other side, what you are doing is not only learning how to do the other move on player, not only are you learning how to do this move on player 2's side, you are also getting your hand used to the 2, 1, 4 input on player 1's side, right? So by practicing doing, it's a little weird in certain aspects, but by practicing doing like Sunshot on player 2's side, I am also at least partially practicing my muscle memory for laser on P1's side. Similarly, right, by practicing Sunshot on player 1's side, I am also practicing laser on player 2's side, right? Obviously, this is different depending on what game you're in and what characters you're playing, right? With Street Fighter, for example, it is usually set up so that, like, a special move, when you're doing a special move, usually it will use one punch button, it will use one of your 3 punch buttons, or 2 of them at once, or one of your 3 kick buttons, or 2 of them at once, depending on the move, right? Strive is a little different because they'll be like, all right, this move the only time you're ever using this move is with this button, right? I don't know Ino's moves off the top of my head, so I can't say properly the way that they work. But using like Soul Bad Guy as an example from Guilty Gear, his Gunflame projectile is always only ever on the punch button. His Volcanic Viper anti-air is only ever slash or heavy slash. It's the same Z motion for Volcanic Viper, but you either do it with slash or heavy slash. You don't do it with punch in that game. So, but some of the principles kind of still tie around the same way, right? Where as you practice motion inputs on one side, you are usually training yourself on how to do the reversed motion input on the other side, and it's just a matter of, as you practice and get used to the character, knowing, all right, which motion does what and when. And so what a lot of people get stuck on is like why are these so arcane? Why is it not just a thing where you do this? Why is it not a thing where you just do that, right? And you do have games where they're like, yeah, all you have to do is like hold the direction and press a button. Even like the modern input style of Street Fighter 6, if you do modern inputs instead of classic inputs, will do something similar, where you have a button that is specifically for special attacks, and by just holding a direction and pressing the button, that's the thing, right? Now, the reason why motion inputs exist, and why if you don't have motion inputs, it's fine, but you have to consider from a design perspective what your compensation for that is. Good luck, have fun. Thank you, Sabira. So, the reason why motion inputs exist is because they are deliberately meant to emphasize a form of risk and reward, right? Don't die? Appreciate it. So with motion inputs, right? Like the whole point of, for example, so Ryu Shoryuken, right, is forward, down, down, forward. It's that Z motion I was talking about, right? The reason why, for example, there is no point where you hold back at any point doing like Ryu's Shoryuken is because in the older games it's meant as like a very strong like blow through the attack sort of thing. In newer Street Fighter games, it's more of like an anti-air technique. But the main point is that because it has properties as a very strong counterattack, you should not be able to block while doing it. Therefore, when you're doing Ryu Shoryuken, forward, down, forward is the motion because there's no blocking in it. You have to stop blocking in order to do it, right? Ingrid, her anti-air technique, Sunrise, she doesn't have to do it's not a DP motion, it's not forward, down, forward, but she still does do down, forward. I can technically still do it from a blocking position, but there is a point at which I have to stop blocking in order for Sunrise to come out. So the principle is kind of still the same. And the thing about motion inputs in particular is that because they are a little bit more involved than just holding a direction and doing something, it means that you have more modalities for being able to express different attacks, right? If you have a special attack button, and then you sort of do the different special attacks by either holding, like, you only have but so many directions, right? It's like, all right, if you hold back and press this one, you get this. If you hold down, back, and get this one, you do this, right? But if someone slips or otherwise isn't like watching their inputs as carefully, there may be a chance where they slip their hand to a direction they didn't mean to, and they press the special attack button and they get a move they didn't want, which is normal. It happens, right? Like, input flubs happen. The main thing, at least for me, and why I usually try, if a game offers me the option to like do more traditional motion inputs, I usually will. Smash is different because like Smash, they were very specific about like, yeah, here's how we're gonna like here's how we're gonna like arrange the modality for all of these things to work, and they do still make those considerations like I was talking about, right? Also, like, rules are just different in there. With Smash, right, sometimes the best defense is not necessarily shielding an attack, but being out of the way. There are other ways in which they compensate for the way that special moves are laid out and things like that, right? Very different ball game, but it's very well considered is what I mean. I say all that to say that, like, the reason why I prefer motion inputs is because when the heuristics are very distinct, right, it is easier for me to tell, okay, right, it was this. Okay, right, it was this. Even in DNF Duel, a lot of the time when I play that game, I will do those special move inputs manually in most cases because I need to, my hands need that very specific, distinct heuristic of the full motion of a motion input to really understand, this is the thing I was doing, shit, this is where I messed up the input. And that's been kind of like the major, and that's the main reason why, for me in particular, I like having motion inputs, right? I don't think it's bad if games don't have motion inputs, or if they have a mode where it's like, oh yeah, you can do motion inputs or you cannot. I don't think it's a bad thing for games to have either. It's just that you have to make considerations very carefully about how that impacts your design space, right? Like, this is why the Hunter x Hunter fighting game, Nen Impact, that game has like 8 separate buttons in order to do certain things, because they were trying to make sure that you could like condense a lot of they were trying to make sure that they could like condense a bunch of things into they were trying to like condense a lot of yeah, motion inputs would be better if you still force me to learn it. Yeah. Nope. You gonna do super? Yes, you are. Oops. Woo! Yeah, and in Strive's case, Strive does not have like an equivalent to like Street Fighter 6's modern inputs. So with Strive you have to learn motion inputs anyway. But yeah, the trick with motion inputs is always going to be, especially when learning ones that you are unfamiliar with, the trick is always, yeah, it's plus. Or at least not enough for me to be able to punish that. Oh, good. I should die here. Yeah, I got caught. Yeah. They have way too many Wingclad stocks. I let them get a little too many. That's not me. Ah, fuck. They tried to do a command throw there and they messed up the spacing. Ah, wow. I also learned today that I can't do coils part 3 with 2 people. Elvin is too squishy to go on. Yeah. Yeah. Like whenever you try to like unsync old content, especially in Final Fantasy XIV, if you are at the point where even like unless you are going, if you are specifically like at the threshold for if you are at the threshold about where the content would be like fresh for you, it becomes harder for smaller numbers to unsync it with you. Oops. Funk. So yeah, like probably if you were level 60 with the right amount of with the right gear, it would probably be easy. Not obviously you should wait till that. I'm just saying mostly that it's like, yeah, you'll need more people. Because knowing what I know of your gear situation, it would match. And that's not like me like throwing shade at you or anything. It's more so just like the specific circumstances of where you're at make that make sense. Now we're getting more command throws. Yeah, whenever Lily does OD Condor's Fire, especially if she does it while she has a Windclad stock, yeah, my fault. I got greedy. Yeah, like that's plus as fuck. It's not my turn. She puts me in a situation where if Lily puts me in a situation where I am blocking Windclad's fire. I'm curious about the context of this coil stuff. Could you elaborate in Discord? Yeah, feel free to, Kettle, if you want to go more into it. It's not mine. I can tell you right now that it's not like a mine thing. Kettle just wants to do it because they are not quite in Heaven's Word yet, I think. But they just wanted to do coils before going too deep toward finishing out post AR stuff, as far as I remember. But yeah, y'all can talk about that on Discord further if you feel like. So yeah, any talking about doing it unsynced was mostly just to like, just to get it done without having to like work to get a bunch of people together, something like that. Uh. Okay. I gotta be careful. Dude. Bonk. Yeah, this is like Luke's outfit 2, I believe. This is like his first alternate. This is like his first alternate outfit. Or his second one, maybe? Because his first alternate outfit might have been... Yeah, I'm trying to think. Bonk. Yep, good one. I feel like he's gonna call me bro and ask me to gym. He does. Canonically, Luke does run a training gym in Metro City for people who are like interested in it. Yeah, that's why I was like, I think this is like Luke's outfit 3 because his outfit 2 is this. Yeah, because it's weird because as far as like the team internally is concerned, Luke was actually a guest character when he first appeared in Street Fighter V because they were already sort of like anticipating him for this game. Bonk. But yeah, Luke does actually canonically have a gym where he trains people about how to fight. So that's probably part of why you're getting that vibe. I think he's like, yeah, like Buckler does security, I think. I don't think he is currently in a PMC anymore. I don't think. I might be wrong about that. The general impression I got is that like after he was done with that, he basically went into security, if I remember correctly, and like training people for that kind of stuff. But he might still be doing it and just be on a break during the events of Street Fighter 6. I don't remember. But yeah, his company does do civilian. Yeah, that part I do know for sure. Like his company, like, yeah, he was. I'm not saying that he never was, but yes, at some point, whether he still is now and he stopped prior to SF6, sorry, whether he is now and it's just on a break, or if he stopped prior to SF6 is the only thing I'm not entirely certain about. Because he was out before Street Fighter 6, he was out like doing that kind of work. Yeah. But like I'm not saying this to whitewash him, but more so like a merc in the way that like a lot of like games like the soft step it, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, he's a mercenary, but not like one of those, like not like those greedy ones who are only out there in it for money. He's going to protect people. Blah blah. I don't want to get into that because we will be here. We will be here for like a hot minute talking about that if we get too deep into that. Ooh. Okay, he got it at the right height to avoid getting fucking clowned on. So the thing about Alex's cross chop is that it's a command move that he does in the air. If Alex did not space it correctly, like as you saw, Alex did space it correctly there. Stop doing that. Cut it out. Like you have not earned the right to be able to do like yeah, like I said, I do not want to get into the discourse about it. So this is not me yelling at people, but I'm like we're not getting into it. We're not doing it. No. Because you're right, Cat Wizard. I just don't want to get into it. So we're not doing it. Oh, fuck. I didn't think you would have enough time to recover. Ah, that's my fault. I got punked. I can't even be upset. Like, it is what it is. I legitimately thought that he was not going to have enough time to recover after that. Yep. Power bomb. I keep forgetting how wild and great the lore is behind the fighting games. Taken in particular, I just not think about because it raises too many questions. Yeah. And then I immediately I did the wrong input because I'm fucking asleep. Yep. Thrown. Damn it, did it again. So yeah, Alex is not completely helpless when he's in Prowler stance where he does like the hunch, but you can't block during that. So defending yourself while while you're in Prowler stance is largely about like you have to have a really good understanding of what specifically your opponent's going to do, so that you can otherwise like kind of put the pressure on them. Going into Prowler stance raw is extremely ballsy. As you saw there, like provided that you are making fairly well-reasoned relatively well-reasoned reads, you can make it work. But if you're not, and you're Alex and you're just going into raw Prowler a lot, you get absolutely fucked up. Shouldn't do it. BlazBlue takes an interesting route with that canon that Lily any possibilities. Yeah, they're literally it's all parallel universes. As far as Calamity Trigger and Continuum Shift, and then like the actual true ending of Continuum Shift essentially stops that from being a thing, but parallel universes don't stop being parallel universes will never stop being canon in BlazBlue. It's just that they stop exploring them as explicitly. Well, sort of. They'll make references to like, yeah, you know, there are worlds in which XYZ didn't happen, but they stop exploring it directly in gameplay as often after the second game. Okay, Modern Marisa, so I did the wrong one. Nope. Yeah, fair. Oops. Is that a story lampshade for what? I don't know if I call it a story lampshade. It's just that I don't know, because I can't say with any certainty what they were or were not planning prior to Chrono Phantasma. It's just that, like, I know that essentially at the end of with Continuum Shift, there was a point at which, with the true ending, they're just like, yeah, like possibilities as long as like Noelle exists. So long as Noelle exists and is observing a specific timeline, it becomes a true timeline. Blah blah blah. Like I said, there's a lot, and I sort of remember all of the lore of Blaze Blue. Not all of it. That's a lie. I sort of remember the broad strokes of the Blaze Blue lore, but not enough for me to summarize it while also trying to fight modern Marisa and not get my shit pushed in. Isn't Soul Calibur entirely canon to Tekken? They probably share the same universe. The implication being that the Yoshimitsu in Soul Calibur is the ancestor of the Yoshimitsu that we see in Tekken. Yes. So at the very least, they share a universe. I don't know what Heihachi. Heihachi was brought in as a guest character explicitly with that particular version of Soul Calibur. They did not make any indication as to whether or not his presence was canon or not. So I can't speak to that. Always gotta pop them with the laser. Never forget. I'm not using my standing heavy buttons as much as I would like to. I've been thinking about trying to use them in the last couple of matches, and I've just not been doing it. Okay, we take those. Not the move I meant to do, but alright. I didn't finish the rest of my input. That's a shame. I probably stopped at like the down forward because I meant to do like EX. I meant to do EX Sunrise and just get the kill that way. Sunrise. Yeah, fair. Bonk. So yeah, the Marisa has a pretty good sense.
Let's go! Ring the bell!
Right on time.
Yeah, so like the Marisa had a pretty good understanding of what the game plan was, but they were trying to enforce. They were trying to enforce with drive impacts and like OD Gladius a little too much, which is not like bad because like Marisa is by her nature like very much a bully type of character. So it wasn't like a bad idea for them to try to do it, to try to like bully like that. especially because I have a habit of spending a lot of drive gauge. Ooh, good meaty setup. I wanted that to be back though. That's okay. Bop, bop. I wanted it to be a back though so that Ed would be closer to the corner. I can pressure him a little more. The hard thing about like Ed is that while Ingrid is also like a mid-range specialist, Ed likes to just poke and be annoying and like kind of sit just outside of your range for certain things, and that can make it very difficult to kind of like catch him out. And as Ingrid in particular, if you mess up and sort of like yep. Nah, I'm cooked. Because that's his super R3. So there is literally short of blocking. If I hadn't messed up the input. That's my fault though. I wanted to do OD Sunrise in order to like just clinch it out with what I hit him with, but I messed up and I put in a teleport input instead. Hey, Shiny. Nah, shouldn't have done that. Ed's DP is not one of the good ones in this game, unfortunately. That move that he did where he was like, move it, stay down. It starts up slow enough that there are circumstances where he can throw it out and you can literally just kind of like see it coming out and kind of just like react to it instinctively. And that is why Ingrid Super Art 2 is very scary. If you do not hit her, the beams do not stop, and she can spend Sun Crests in order to make it. Oops. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, good reaction. Yep, there we go. Corner with you. Bop, bop. Yeah, and this is why Ed is kind of a pain, right? Because, especially as Ingrid, if I'm not, if I'm pressing buttons when I shouldn't be, and I get sniped by him doing something at mid-range, ooh, that's gonna hurt. Da, da, da. Now I'm dead. Yeah, like literally if I misread like putting out a laser in certain spots or whatever, then this is what happens, because Ed has range that is roughly equivalent to Ingrid's, and he moves a little, and he has more movement options, and that's where it becomes tricky. As Ingrid, you sort of have to be able to control the space a little bit better than he does in order to avoid getting caught out by that. Oops. A little too slow. Uppercut. Nope. Nope. You good? Yeah. Yep. I botched it because all I had to do was just jump, do heavy laser, heavy air laser, and then it's okay. That's what I thought. Not spaced out then. Oh, jeez. I'm not dead. This is gonna hurt. Alright. Whew. Ah, damn. Oof. That's not though. You didn't space that. Gotta be careful about this. Woo! Yeah, because I hit the Sagat out of the air way too many times for him to be comfortable jumping. So now I have to kind of like, or at least Sagat will not be comfortable jumping unless oop, fair. SA3? Yeah. This might kill. Yeah, I'm dead. Yep, fair. Damn, missed. I missed the punish. Uppercut. Uh-huh. There we go. Yeah, he could have got me with like an OD Tiger uppercut. Well, an OD Tiger uppercut would have had to come when I did the butt bounce on him. Otherwise, nah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful about that plus. Ooh, yep, good. Ooh, sniped her right out of it. So the thing about Viper that's dangerous is that she has a move called Seismic Knuckle, where she basically that's Seismic Knuckle right there. So the thing that's dangerous about Seismic Knuckle is that it does hit low. And if you are throwing projectiles carelessly against Viper, and she has like a pretty good notion that you're gonna do it, a thing that then that you then have to kind of contend with against it is that, you know, if you're trying to throw projectiles at the wrong spacing and oops. If you're throwing projectiles at the wrong spacing and you get hit by a Thunder Knuckle, you get hit by a Seismo at the wrong time, either that stops your projectile cold or otherwise fucks up your pressure. And so, aside from that, she can also like fake it. Or, as you see there, if she's willing to spend a little dive meter, she can do it twice. Oops. I messed up part of the setup when I got Super Art 2 out, but this is what, like, Ingrid with Super Art 2 is very dangerous for the reasons that, like, I mostly keep demonstrating. which is that if she gets Super Art 2 out and is uninterrupted, Ingrid kind of gets to do whatever she wants. 2. Yep. Ooh, unfortunate. And this is why, like, knowing with Ingrid the difference between when it's time to put a laser down versus when it's time to throw out a fireball, very important. Ingrid's heavy sunshot is an incredible deterrent for people to from making people jump if you place it correctly. Yeah, I got hit by that. I was like, I don't know if I managed to jump to avoid it or not. Yeah, baited me. However, Viper has... Alright. Viper is not completely helpless on the meter front, but she does not have a lot going on with meter right now. He will be getting close to getting 2, probably over the course of this fight. Good throw. Good throw. Yeah, she's at 2. There we go. We do love our little call-outs. Alright. Whew. Yeah, that last little shuffle that y'all saw there was literally us trying to like scope out who was gonna press a button first. If you ever hear somebody, if you're ever watching like fighting game footage and you hear somebody talking about the shimmy, that's the kind of stuff that shimmying involves. A lot of like sort of like moving back and forth, trying to like trying to tease out certain aspects of certain things, right?
Here comes a new challenger.
Trying to see if somebody's going to like get twitchy and press a button first. And that's why like movement is an important part, especially if you're like trying to like develop your fighting game skills further. How you move is very important to that because you can use it as a way to like pressure out people and see if you can like entice them into making mistakes or otherwise moving in ways that they really shouldn't be. Oops. I think this might have been the same Alex that I fought earlier, who had nothing but the business for me. Damn it. I nearly botched that. I forgot what input I was doing. I need to just start, if I'm gonna do a quarter circle back, I just gotta start hitting medium punch sometimes. Oh! Bomb. Yeah, bust. Nope. That's expensive on my part. Oops. Because I was like, I want something to, and that's the nice thing about Ingrid Super Art 2. That's the nice thing about Ingrid Super Art 2. You can use it as a way of putting a little bit of pressure on people, in an aspect where they you can use this as a way of putting pressure on people such that they such that if you're not getting hit and if you're not getting hit and the stars are already dropping, you as Ingrid have the opportunity to sort of just wait to see if somebody will feel so pressured that they fuck up and move in ways that they shouldn't. Nope. Few drinks. Yeah, you gotta be careful about that. So when Jamie does like that one punch, if he spaces it correctly, then it is very difficult to punish him. But as y'all saw, like an errant jab can still catch him if he didn't space it correctly. No, you don't have dive kick. What are you doing? Yeah, fair. Gonna jump? Nope. Go. 2 drinks. He's at normal damage now. No. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. You should take a second drink. Yeah, like, come on, bud. Yeah, no, that was my fault. He couldn't cancel that move directly, but it is safe enough that he can do it and then do a drive impact afterward. No. Yeah, so Jamie's dive kick, essentially speaking, it works like a lot of other dive kicks in this game. If Jamie hits you at or below your waist, usually he is safe. If Jamie hits you like above your waist or relatively high up in the dive kick, you can punch him in the face usually. Yep. Really early to pop this, but I imagine it's to push me toward the corner and maybe get a drink set up. Or just to get even one drink, which is makes sense. So, do it again. Nope, I got shimmied. So, what you saw Jamie do there, where he walked forward a little bit and then walked back, was to make me think he was going to try to go for the throw again. I fucked up and I threw early, and the end result is what you saw. I ate a shit ton of damage for guessing incorrectly. And then that time I guessed correctly that he was going to step backwards. 2 drinks. Oops. Yeah, that's the annoying part. Basically, Jamie, whenever he's drive rushing, is very difficult to deal with because out of a drive rush, he can do his standing heavy punch, which has 3 hits to it naturally, which means it's very good at... if you're trying to drive impact Jamie, there are a lot of circumstances under which it just doesn't work. Because that. The 3 hits of that of his standing heavy punch will basically break any drive impact that you intend to do. That was an excellent dive kick. He did it very close and at a more shallow angle so that he would bait the sunrise from me. Yeah, that's not good. Whew. That was incredibly close. Holy shit. Yeah, again, if Jamie does not space the first hit of that correctly, he gets punished. Caught me below. 1 drink, it will hurt. I'm gonna be at both life and drive disadvantage, which is the part that's not ideal. Not meter for Super R2, but him. Right. Whew. I made a mistake, and I forgot that, like, Ingrid has no natural way to combo into Heavy Sunrise. If you're gonna do Heavy Sunrise, you have to have some kind of, like, boost to make it combo, and I forgot about that in the heat of the moment. Like that. Basically, you literally have to, like, do a drive rush first in order to get it to come out. And I forgot because I was stressed the fuck out. And I was very scared. Oh, did they steal my color? Yeah, they stole my color. Ah. Balls. Oh, right. Fair. Whew. Good damn. In fact, no. The color I normally wear, like Ingrid's top is like her outfit too, in its default colors is a much brighter purple than the other Ingrid is wearing. Like basically, like Ingrid's default outfit 2 color is a very light purple with brown stockings and black shoes. The color that I normally use with Ingrid is a darker purple top with black stockings. They are a different color. Yep. Am I cooked? Yeah, it's punished. Should just done a C3.
Everything is in my grasp. Now experience.
Ah, that was risky business on my part. I made it work though. Get fair. I'm in the corner now. Oop. Yeah, I wasn't in a good position there. I was burned out. It would have been very difficult for me to run that back. Uh-huh. My fault. You right. Bonk. Yeah. Damn. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't actually blow out that meter because it wasn't match point yet. Okay. Yeah, good call. Good though. I might be dead. We'll have to see.
My grasp. Now experience. You okay?
Fuck! Oh! Oh! Ah! Alright. Good frame kill. Damn. It went straight for it, huh? Okay. I that's fair. Because now it gives you time to get another stun crest. Unless you're just gonna go straight in. Alright. Oh, huh. No, despite the fact that I dropped that part way through, I still made it. Because after the finger laser, I meant to do critical art and just like crunch. Let's see. I feel like I don't want to push my luck too much further. So maybe we'll do like 1 or 2 more ranked matches, and then we call it and we switch over to Strive. Let's see what this Kimberly's cooking with, though.
Right on time. Should be more
Good art. Nope. Good throw. Good shimmy there. I was about to say, unfortunate. If a Super Art 1 could have fit anywhere in there, that would have been a definite kill for them and would have avoided me potentially getting up and putting them good throw. Yeah. And that's the dangerous thing. Like whenever you see Kimberly and that's why I went for Super Art 1. Because I knew that she was burned out. and it would either eventually chip her out, or the extra plus frames would keep her locked down enough for me to kind of like just do whatever I need to do. Nope. Yeah, they caught me there though. No, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to my own drive gauge, because I wouldn't have done that drive impact if I'd known that I didn't have that much drive left, but I wasn't looking. So that's my own fault for not paying attention. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to watch for that. Bonk. The thing you have to be careful about with Kimberly and doing her sprint mid combo like that is that you can use it as a surprise tool to catch somebody doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or if they're not awake, you can do that sneak in like a tick throw or something, and it is completely legitimate. The thing you mostly have to watch out for is that Nope. The thing you have to watch out for when you're doing like sprint block strings is mostly that if somebody suspects you're going to do it, either they will attempt to tech the throw, or if you, depending on the gap that you leave as Kimberly when you are doing it, some people will try to mash out like I did, where it's like, I'm going to check you as you're running in and stop you from getting it up, from getting it. All right. I'm good with that for right now as far as Street Fighter 6 is concerned. Let's switch over to Strive. Because I try a thing that I got into a habit of a while ago that I have been trying to do better about, that I know is something that I'm very likely to do if I'm either not paying attention or if I get too into the groove, is that it's like, all right, I have gained this many ranking points as I've been going. I'm on fire. I should just keep grinding it out. It's like, nope. That has usually been what winds up precluding me getting my shit pushed in. So usually if I'm on like a really good groove and part of my brain is like, all right, now I'm beginning to feel like the sweat and the jitter where I'm like, I could do it, 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 right? When my brain starts like revving up in that direction, I'm just like, all right, what this tells me is probably that I am hitting the limit of what I can safely pull off without probably pushing my luck a little harder than I should. So what I'm going to do is stop, right? I'm like, all right, I've gotten this far with all of this stuff, right? I'm like, all right, cool. I've gotten this far and done this well. I should chill now. As far as like, oh yeah, this specific thing that I'm doing right this second, it's like, nah, you're good. You can chill. And that I've been learning to try to listen more closely to my instincts when they say things like, all right, you're probably coming to about the peak of your explicit play as far as this specific game mode is concerned, and you should stop. I'm trying to make sure that I'm like pacing myself that way a lot better, because when I don't do that, things get ugly. All right, I think I need to make sure this. I'm gonna go back because I need to do one thing real quick. I need to check my settings. I need to check my settings to see if I can actually make sure that this is there we go.
We've got a newcomer.
Oh, hey. It's exactly what I thought, which is that all the RoboKai players were in ranked. So, like, last week, RoboKai came out. I didn't fight against any, but I suspect it's mostly because I was not playing ranked last week. Does Robokai's dash... I think it might be part of one of his special moves, if I remember correctly. I was expecting him to burst and he didn't.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Good throw. Good throw. Yeah, I guess that cuckoo clock might be his 6P. We'll see if this kills or not. Because it will wall break, but I'm not sure if the unscale... Yeah, there we go. Usually when they have like that much health left, even with like the gut scaling that usually happens in circumstances like that, usually it's not enough to save them. Good burst. Yeah, I think no. The segue is part of one of his special moves. Because then he does that slash. Okay, no, I think the cuckoo clock might just be his 5P, and it just hits. Yeah, it's his 5P. Just happens to hit really high. It's not gonna wall break, but I don't need it to. Yeah, so basically when Robokai gets on the Segway and then does the charging slash, it charges up his battery gauge a little bit. I talked about this last week, but now it's easier to see it in action. In addition to the tension gauge, Robokai also has a battery gauge. Using certain moves will charge it up. Using certain moves will cause it to discharge. When it discharges at higher levels with certain moves that he does, it winds up making those moves a little stronger. So like the move where he gets on the Segway and then does the 2 slashes, charges up his battery gauge a little bit. His rocket punch will eat levels out of the battery gauge in order to get stronger. So on and so forth. I think like the laser satellite dish thing that he uses to launch into the air, I think that also gets stronger as he consumes battery gauge. So it's like a little bit of a split between his moves are basically roughly even split between like giving him battery gauge and letting him spend it for more damage. Damn. Went right for it, huh? Oh yeah, no. I don't think 5H cancels the 5-3. I might get hit. Yeah, because I'm like 5k doesn't recover fast enough to avoid that. Jesus. So yeah, whenever Lucy does that big like charged whip thing, if I get hit by that, then I don't remember the specific debuff that it inflicts, but it's not good. If I get hit by the big whip charge thing, not ideal. Oops. Okay, yeah, it's an automatic counter hit on the next move that she does. Welcome back, Cat Wizard. Nope. I'm like, all I gotta do is just wait and see if they're gonna burst. And I snatched it.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Fair. Ooh, unfortunate. Yeah, so basically whenever I get hit by charged whip, if I get hit again and don't block it, it's like a counter hit, it looks like. If I block it, it might be a guard break maybe, if I had to guess. I got too greedy. It's my fault. Yeah. Yeah. Even if I block it, it's... Whew. I didn't drop it. We take those. There we go. Take those, my beloved. But yeah, like, especially in this game, I'm thinking, like, the reason why I haven't been trying to sweat so much about ranked is because getting somewhere and ranked in this game is brutal. Like, I've had to just kind of be playing for like the last couple months straight just to get this. And I've been dropping the super input less on the right hand side lately, which is good. Johnny. Johnny has always been a traditionally difficult matchup for Jam, mostly because his buttons, when they're placed well, tend to cover a lot of the spaces where Jam wants to be. Like, that 2S makes it very difficult to just, like, oops. Yeah, I got too greedy. Uh, Ugh. And that's the tricky part, right? Because if Johnny starts throwing out more 2S's, it's not that I don't have an answer, but it becomes a lot more difficult to contest him. There we go. So that's the thing, right? Like, if Johnny is checking you correctly as Jam with, like, his 2S, right? You don't get to just, like, box you in for free. Yeah, like literally, if this Johnny was confident enough to check me with two S's more often, I would be in a worse spot than I am right now. Thankfully, they're not super confident about that, so I'm getting away with a couple more things than normally I think I'd be getting away with. There. Oh yeah, that's fair. Fucking caught me. I thought I was gonna be able to get you in and get over him in time for whatever he was gonna do. Oop. Yeah, that was good. He baited my yellow Roman cancel in the same way that you would bait a burst. Oops. There we go. Whew. It's a good thing I managed to get. It's a good thing I managed to get the super out instead of. I suppose Chokaku would have killed also, but I wasn't sure, so I was like, let me card up. And it turned out that I was lucky that he didn't get enough meter for his reversal super after that, or I would have been in a situation where I would have been like, ha, lol, Lamau. I would have been kind of cooked because he would have been able to do reversal super and catch me doing Gekirin probably, maybe. I got the hard knockdown, and that makes it a lot harder for people to contest Jam as she's coming up on them on Wake Up, because if Jam has cards, there. No. Yeah. Fuck. If I'd maybe managed to catch them rising, that would have been different. Unfortunate. Oops. Yeah, I'm cooked. Okay, I see. So they're willing to sort of eat a couple of chances on the Ryujin just to get in. So I have to see if I can plan around that. Alright, Stubby.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
We both had the same idea. We did flip into Ryutsui. Yeah, they're much better on like 2L 2L sorry. They're much better on 2K conversions than I am off of certain combos, and that is going to be what kind of carries, not carries in like a bad way, but more so just like a, this is something that they are explicitly better at than I am sort of thing. Oops. Super didn't come out. Yeah, they're faultlessing a little bit too much though, is the thing. So when you faultless defend with the green aura around you, while it does save you from chip damage, and it does push the opponent out farther, you stop blocking later, which means that if you are holding faultless defense for too long, people can get a chance to like run up and throw you. Like this. I have a Ryujin card on deck, so I didn't need to. I could have done Puffball Super to charge all three, but I already got a Ryujin on deck, so I can afford to just kind of like fuck around a little.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Yep, good. Ooh. Okay, that's good to know. If I can get Gekirin at that height from a flip. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, that was good.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
I held faultless too long. Yeah. See, that conversion is not something I do very frequently or very well. I know how to do it, I just don't do it very often. Ooh, yeah, it's plus. Nah, I got greedy. I deserve that. Yeah, so like, I don't do that conversion that you saw where they do like the 2LK into other stuff. I don't do that very often. Usually because I am really bad at telling what height I can get away with that at. The general idea, right, is that if SJM, like if SJM, if you bounce somebody up high enough, or if they're launched up high enough after Ryutsui, you should be able to like get 2LK as a linker. So like usually off of like situations where you get like a 2H and you happen to hit them in a certain way. If you get like close slash 2H, then crouching K, 2K will hit afterward usually, but you have to like make sure that you actually confirm it correctly. Okay, so that's the button to hit when she's doing that. Or depending on the distance, 2H might be better. Yeah, and then quick hack, I should be dead here. We should have enough time to... Wow, I can't believe it. I fucking ran that shit back so hard. I was nearly dead, and I ran that shit back super hard. Holy shit. Yeah, too greedy. Okay, yeah, so any hit basically turns into like a counter hit. That shit is dangerous. Yep. Good thing I did not charge that overhead, because then I would have probably gotten hit by that, maybe. Maybe. Like, I don't know if there's enough of a gap there. Okay, I see. So one of the debuffs that she does when she hits you with that super is when she hacks you is a poison one. Because I saw my life decreasing without her even touching me, so alright, good to know. I blocked incorrectly. No. Yep, good though. Ooh.
ただの物理攻撃なのね。やたらと一撃が重いのは一体どういう格闘チップってわけでもなさそう。
Yeah, because you're not in the world where that sort of thing is commonplace. Well, 50-50. God damn it. There we go. I probably got hit by that. Yeah, the hard part about trying to catch Lucy when she does like the charged whip is that if I go for like my 2H, which will definitely reach her in a lot of the circumstances, it's a little slow and I get hit out. I think 5H might be able to reach, but it's dependent on her like actually charging it up all the way, which not gonna happen all the time, you know? Ah, fuck. Get though. There we go. Oops, not the one I meant to do. There we go. Yeah, I could have probably kept trying to just do Ryutsui, because it looks like they were looking for the overhead. Maybe. Like, it seemed like their main focus was on trying to catch the overhead. But, you know. Oh, hey, it's me. The chaos begins. At least they bursted before I used Ryujin. Yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah, basically now I have to play against like a Mei on a sugar high, basically it looks like, which is annoying and why I don't like fighting against her. And it's not that it's like, oh, her playing this way is cheap, but it's like specifically because of the way that like the way that they've handled like her dolphin movement stuff. It kind of benefits her to sort of like play in this wild child ass way. Because she does a lot of damage, she hits very hard, and because of the way that like her dolphin, they changed. She didn't have this until recently, I think, but she has a thing where with at least one of her dolphin attacks, she can jump and get like a high jump out of it. That split like that is extremely annoying to deal with. Because she wants to sit back down. Yeah, literally because she just won't sit down. It's like, alright. Thank you. A lot of it is like, I have to sort of like... Yeah, it's a wall break. I'm annoyed because I got a parry and then I didn't follow it because I wasn't I didn't mean to even do the parry input on purpose. Jesus, is that a hard? Okay, no. Thank God. Because like, if counter blitz was a hard knockdown, I would have been screaming. Guaranteed wall break, but it's not a hard knockdown, which is good. Right. So yeah. So because Mei has like split off of vertical dolphin, it's a thing where if I'm not careful about reading the vertical dolphin correctly, I will fuck up and whip at a spot where I would prefer not to. Got the burst early, is all I really care about. Give me that. No meter. Woof. We're in there. So, oh wow, fuck! Anchor was out before I managed to get Puffball. Yeah, and this is why, like, Mei getting any kind of, like, positioning advantage is really annoying. Because she does not move... Basically, the way that she moves quickly is dolphin riding. If you can keep her from, like... Fuck. And vertical dolphin does have invul, which is why, like, I am scared of it a little. Because if I fuck up... It doesn't have meter, which is good, but it... So yeah, like basically May's speed advantage does not come from her own movement. It's all dolphin stuff. Um, so essentially speaking, if you can stop her from doing dolphin bullshit, you have a slightly easier time. But because she has split off of vertical dolphin, um, she has split off of vertical dolphin that lets her change her vertical positioning in a very sharp sort of way. And so if I call incorrectly,
Duel 1. Let's rock.
oh, wow, these frames are bad. Actually, I don't want to do this. Get the fuck out of here. Because
Double KO. Draw. Duel 2. Let's rock.
am I overdrive Kingdom? Yes, but he recovered fast enough. Yeah, I'm not. This is the so normally I don't one and done, but like the rollback is I'm not feeling that. We're not doing that. Like literally the only times I one and done are when it's like no, the rollback is like ass.
Got it. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Nope. I expect that you tried it though. Yeah, that was my fault though. Yep, good 6K. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if you have enough to. That on first. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's fair. Nope, I tried to puffball there, and he very rightly counter hit me out of that. That shit wasn't happening. There we go. Baited his burst bait. Yeah, good though. Alright. I'll finish the set with this Sin, and then that will be the end of it, either way. Because it's almost 9 o'clock. There we go. Ah. Hawk Baker. Yeah, I didn't have enough meter to do like Tyrant Barrel or anything to force advantage. You're gonna try to walk up and like throw me, weren't you? Ooh. And time. Ooh. Oh, thank God. Thank God I landed in time. Thank God I landed in time. And then I hit that button high enough to not get counter hit by RTL, because otherwise, right on the spot, I would have been fried. Shut up, alarm. It's fine. Deep driver. Hawk Baker. That. Not enough meat. Okay. Good call, though, because that should give him back stamina a little faster. Yep. No. Whew. Ah, thank goodness. Yeah, Jam's close slash is very short ranged, but because it is both fast and it hits nastily on counter hit, it is a very bad button to get counter hit by. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good hard knockdown for that. Yeah, you can't combo off that at least. Ooh. I used the Faultless to try to push him back a little bit, and then I think I tried to parry. I don't know. I think because of my Faultless defense, parry wasn't going to happen. Woo! Ooh, yeah. Just use empty Gazelle step to bait the parry, which is good. It's fine, because now I'm not in the corner. And that's the main thing I care about. I do not want to be in the corner. Good though. I was too close. The Roman cancel might save him because it does eat into my damage a little. Yeah. But as always, the dashing carded Gekyuin is always my silly little ha ha hee hee back pocket button. Yeah, like basically, so I'll explain how that little bit works as we're getting ready to get out. I've said this before, but usually when you wall break with a super move in Guilty Gear Strive, the opponent is put into what's called a hard knockdown state, which means that they are forced to lie down for a period of time and then get back up. You'll notice that with a lot of other hits in Guilty Gear Strive, if I hit an opponent out of the air, they do a little recovery roll on the ground and get up, right? When you're hard knocked down, that doesn't happen. You are forced to stay on the ground for a longer period of time before you get up and do other stuff. And what that allows, so if you break the wall with a super and you force somebody into a hard knockdown, that allows you to run Okizen. In other words, it lets you sort of prepare for them to get up and like do things like, you see me do it with Ingrid sometimes, right? If I knock somebody down, I'll throw a sunshot and charge it sometimes so that it sits right on top of them as they're getting up. So they have to block it as they get up, right? Or if they were planning on doing something else, like a level 1 super that doesn't have like projectile invincibility, they'll start doing that. The fireball will be sitting on top of them and they eat shit, right? That's generally the idea behind Okizeme. You set up something while your opponent is getting up. My JoJo main Caesar is all about Okizeme? Exactly. So the idea then is that with Jam in particular, once you have a hard knockdown with her, you have enough room with most characters in Guilty Gear Strive, you have enough time after a hard knockdown wall break to run up and, for example, do a faultless defense to stop and break short in case the opponent does like a reversal or something. If they're the kind of person that does that, you can use it to potentially set up some Okizeme stuff because they're going to be forced down for a while before they get back up. Or as you see me do with Jam, I can dash for, even without a card on Gekyuin, I can still do this. I'll dash a little bit and then do Gekyuin, and because I'm doing it while running, I get a little bit of a momentum boost that will let me hop over and cross over and hit them from behind as a cross-up attack. I can choose if I alter the timing of when I put the input in, I'll stay in the front instead. If I have a card for Ryutsui, the split kick, I can do carded Ryutsui instead to stay on the same side, even if I don't hit, and use that potentially to like bait out the opponent doing something else also. So for Jam in particular, right, using your spacing to do cross-up Gekyuin, whether carded or uncarded, you can do that even without getting a hard knockdown, but you have to space it more carefully so that you're close to them and you'll go over and pop them in the back. It's a little trickier to do. But, so yeah, one of the common tricks that I say for after a hard knockdown as Jam is, all right, dash up, Gekyuin, and use that to like hit them cross up. If I have a card, I might do carded Ryutsui instead. If I don't have a card, I might dash up and use faultless defense to immediately stop my dash and stop in front of them so that if they do some other punishable thing, I have the room to do whatever. A lot of things you can do with a hard knockdown as Jam. I usually save like the Gekio and cross up just to fuck with people. It's very funny. So either or. It's all shenanigans. But Caesar has a ton of moves that linger over a knockdown character. Easy target combo gets that knockdown. Yeah. Yeah. In the Milia still has some aspects of what we would call a vortex. This is more true in the older Guilty Gear games than this one. Not that she doesn't have it here, but they very deliberately kind of like pulled it back a little bit because it can be really agitating to deal with when you're just learning how to play Guilty Gear. Milia has traditionally had, in Guilty Gear, for example, a very Okizeme heavy sort of game to the degree that it is called a vortex. If you want other examples of Okizeme, let me just do FGC Glossary Okizeme, FGC Glossary Vortex. Just so you have some ideas. But like with the vortex specifically, it is usually a type of Okizeme that is either looping or very, very difficult to get out of, depending on who you talk to. So like a common thing with Milia is that Milia would knock you down, throw a disc so that she sits on top, so that it sits on top of you, and then while you are blocking the disc, she does a couple of different things. In Strive in particular, some things that Milia can do is that she can throw a disc, forward dash, and then try to hit you with a cross up, forward dash, like hit you with a disc on Oki, back dash to change the spacing, and then like drop down, do a disc, fast fall straight down and hit you with a low. A lot of different things where it becomes very difficult to sort of, you basically have to make a hard guess as to what she's going to do next. And that is like Okizeme taken to what you would consider its logical extreme, where it's like, all right, she just puts you in the mix constantly, but it requires her to get a knockdown first. It's not like free. She has to knock you down first in order to be able to pull that off. So yeah, like Okizeme is it's a lot more specific in Strive in particular because they wanted to sort of lower the amount of situations you get in where somebody is just like, haha, lol, you eat shit. Caesar's gimmick is also the Hamon character. So instead of having a stand, which you have a whole extra move that we switch, you can channel Hamon into his moves, gets a bonus against vampires and killer men, and he's super gay. Yeah, at the very least, Caesar is bi, 100%. Because it's either comp het for him or he's bi. It's one of those two. But we're good here for now. Thank y'all for hanging out. When I see you on Sunday, we are going to be playing. Yeah, he and Joseph were down bad for each other. Yeah. %. So yeah, when I see y'all on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time ideally, we're going to be playing more Devil May Cry 5. I have been doing some grinding off stream because it's very easy to just sit down, boot it up for a little while and do some stuff. So we are going to have more red orbs than we left off with. Maybe enough that I can afford to spend some on V and not feel like I'm missing out on stuff. And then next Friday, for Fighting Friday, we'll see what's up. But Devil May Cry is our game for Sundays for the next little while. And then once we finish that, I think we're going to be doing Shadow Hearts. So, thank y'all for coming by. Stay safe, wash your hands if you go outside, wear a mask, be excellent to each other. Remember, Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, New Caledonia, and Haiti must be free. None of us are free till we're all free. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves. You don't have to do a lot to do all of that, just do it, you know? But, alright y'all. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go see who we can go hang out with. Give me 1 second to see if I can figure it out.
Thank you.
Twitch.tv. Let's see who's on. We're not gonna go hang out with T5 if T5 is on because we've been by T5 like twice recently. If SGDQ had on somebody blackety black, I would go drop y'all off over there. You know what? I was talking about RPGs. I think we might as well go hang out with Thormangander. They are currently playing Pokemon Fire Red. I believe they are currently on the 3rd out of 4 fights for the Elite Four. Pokemon Fire Red currently giving Agatha the business. So we're gonna go head over there. Here's the raid message. SH just raids it. Stay safe, wash your wow, I was about to repeat that. Use whatever emotes you want, That's our raid message. Use whatever emotes you want with it. They don't have to be my emotes. Just keep it appropriate. Remember, everybody's been good with this. I'm just saying it as a reminder for anybody that's new. Remember that when we go and raid in people, we chill, we watch the vibe, we do not backseat. We let them kind of do whatever it is that they're doing. I'm pretty sure Thor can figure it out somehow or another. I believe in them. So we're going to let them rock, and hopefully they manage to get through Agatha and give Lance the 1-2. If you want some other links about me, here's this. Here's some stuff about Munity, which is the game studio I helped co-found. I was talking about it earlier. And then the Discord for this stream is over there. Alright, y'all. I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all. Enjoy your time with Thormangander. Till next time. Deuces.